This is a trap 90% of players never see coming. Watch closely, because by the end of this game, you'll have a brand new weapon against 1e4. White pushes their pawn 2 squares and we calmly slide ours to e6. The French is on. They grab more space with d4, but we immediately challenge it with d5. When they lock the center with e5, we strike back with c5. That d4 pawn is going to be our target all game. They try to shore it up with c3, but we're already developing our knight to c6, putting pressure on that weak spot. They bring their knight out, and here's our first sneaky idea. We develop our bishop to d7. Most players miss this. White plays bishop to d3, then comes our secret weapon. We slide our rook to c8. They castle thinking they're safe, but we immediately take on d4. When they recapture, our knight jumps to b4, threatening to trap the rook. They have to bring their other knight out to defend, but we happily trade our knight for their bishop. Their queen has to recapture, and we move our other knight to e7. They try to pin us with their bishop, but we just kick it with h6, bishop goes to d2, and our knight finds its dream square on f5, putting maximum pressure on d4. They play rook to c1, but we're already thinking 3 moves ahead. We play a6 and they bring their other rook to e1. Now bishop to e7 and their knight reroutes to e2. We trade rooks to simplify, then boom. Our bishop slides to b5, winning material. After knight to b4, white doesn't have to trade their bishop, but it's even better. White sees the pressure and drops their bishop back to the second rank, but that's our green light. Boom, now our knight jumps into c2. The rook has no escape squares. Here they play knight to c3. Now comes the punchline. Our knight grabs the rook in the corner. Yep, we trusted the initiative. We gave up some center control earlier, but now we're cashing in with active pieces and a material advantage. What if white plays bishop to b5? This might look like an aggressive developing move, but it's just a mistake. Instead of backing down, we strike immediately. Our knight captures the central pawn. They thought they were creating pressure, but instead they left the door open and were already kicking it down. White reacts with another flashy-looking move. They take our bishop with check, but that just helps us. We recapture with our knight, and now look what's happened. Their so-called attack has evaporated. Their bishop gone, we've won the center pawn, simplified the position on our terms, and now we're the ones with better coordination. One other common variation is for white to play bishop to e2, just playing solid and getting ready to castle. But this is just going to give us an advantage. First, we bring out our other knight, placing it behind the central pawns. The idea is simple: support the center, prepare to hop forward, and start building up quietly. They castle, fine, they're safe, but safe doesn't win games. We now bring out our knight to f5, putting more pressure on their center. They bring out their other bishop to defend the center. Next, we slide our queen over to the queen side. Why? Because we're setting up an attack. We're telling white, we're coming for that b2 square and you'd better be ready. They try to stop it with a pawn push, trying to cover up their light squares. So what do? Bring out our bishop, quietly reinforcing everything. Now our setup is rock solid, no weaknesses, and all of our pieces are getting ready to launch. They develop their knight to d2, but again, it's too slow. We strike first. We break the tension and trade pawns in the center. We're opening the board on our terms. Now we just castle to finish our development. White reacts by bringing a rook to the open file, decent move, but it's already too late. Now we attack the knight with bishop to a3, and this is where things start to get fun. They lift their rook to c2, and we attack the rook with knight to b4, and they try to keep it safe by moving it to c3. And we take that a 2-pawn, attacking the knight again. White can barely respond. They play rook to c2 again, and we hop back to b4. They have to play rook c3 again, and we attack the rook with bishop to b2. Here the engine suggests white to play rook to c4, and if they do, we take it with our pawn. Needless to say, black is winning in this variation. Alright, we're facing an interesting choice from white. They push their corner pawn. That's usually a sign they're getting ready to expand on the queen side or shut down any future attacks from our knights. But guess what? They've just wasted time. So what do? We strike immediately. We lock down the center with a bold pawn push. We're saying, you're not getting that break you're waiting for. We're setting the rules now. Now watch how this unfolds. They develop a knight and we go full throttle. We open the king side, push the f-pawn. We're going for pressure, explosions, imbalance. They take. We bring our knight into the game like a slingshot. And suddenly the whole board is vibrating with potential. After they develop their bishop, we drop our bishop behind our pawns. You might think it looks passive, but that piece is biding its time. It's guarding, watching, and waiting to pounce. They castle, so do we. They play rook to e1. Then we line up our queen behind our bishop. White keeps bringing pieces to the king side, clearly planning an attack. So what do? We reroute a knight first on the edge, and after they develop their other bishop, we swing the knight toward the queen side. Now we've got a serious presence over there. They move their rook to the b file. Our bishop slides 1 square back. That move might not seem flashy, but it's surgical. It controls key squares. They bring their knight toward our king, maybe hopping to launch something. We immediately respond with a queen shift. Our queen eyes the center and the king side. We are ready. Now here comes the drama. They bring a bishop right up, trying to pressure us. We don't panic, we trade. First the knight comes off. We bring our bishop to g6. They take our e6 pawn with check and we trade queens. After they take back with knight, we snap off their rook. They grab our rook and we bring our bishop back. The knight is actually trapped, so they take on h7, and we take back with our king. We're up material, but it's not just about that. Look at the coordination. Every one of our pieces is alive. Our bishop is aimed at the king, our knight is deep in enemy territory, and white's rook still sleeping. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to add some serious firepower to your own games, make sure to grab my 50 Deadly Chess Traps PGN pack. It's pinned in the comments below. These traps are designed to catch even seasoned opponents off guard and turn the tide instantly. And if you're serious about leveling up your opening game, check out the Chess Opening Guides playlist. It's packed with coach-style breakdowns just like this one, all without the boring notation and focused on strategy that actually sticks. Hit that like button if you learned something new, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay sharp, Chess Pawn Fire.